Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out here today. Really appreciate your being here to be able to welcome, or our opportunity to be able to welcome you for an announcement from both the federal government and the state government. The West Cook County Housing Collaborative, which is a combination of Oak Park, Berwyn, Maywood, Forest Park, and Bellwood, came together on this site 3 years ago with the idea of looking at how we could jointly confront the housing foreclosure crisis and begin to address some of the challenges that attended the economic downturn that has negatively impacted so many communities across our country. During the course of the last 50 years, really, there has been an outmigration of population that's been facilitated by transportation-related investments that make it easier for people to be able to live far further out from the concentrated urban center, and has encouraged the type of sprawl investment that has also had the effect of negatively impacting inner ring communities and inner ring cities. What we're seeing now is leadership and a collaborative effort from the federal, state, regional, and local levels to be able to confront the challenge of that disinvestment that's occurred over the course of the last 5 decades, and to reverse that, to think about what we can do collectively, working together, to be able to reinvest in the areas in these inner ring suburban communities that already have embedded infrastructure. They're areas where we've already made investments for years and years and years, and now we have an opportunity to be able to help facilitate new investment, revitalization, and a movement toward the creation of more walkable, livable, transit-oriented communities. One of the critical things now that we turn our attention to with these 2 grants is the housing that we have in these 5 communities and through this corridor. The opportunity to be able to look at how we can help homeowners and individuals who have been struggling through the foreclosure crisis, and an opportunity to be able to help bring people back into foreclosed homes to help stabilize and strengthen the residential markets through this entire corridor.
These communities, Berwyn, Bellwood, Forest Park, Oak Park, and Maywood, have a vision of the future where there is affordable housing with access to good transportation. Equally important, this money will allow these communities to focus on homes that are facing foreclosure. My hometown where I was born, East St. Louis, Illinois, is a good indication of what happens when foreclosure is not addressed and addressed quickly. Those foreclosed homes quickly deteriorate, and the surrounding property values go down. They become a haven, a magnet for all sorts of bad activity. Eventually they're burned out, torn down, with a vacant lot left behind. That is a 50-year story of my hometown. It's a story we don't want to repeat. This grant that is coming to these communities to save many of these homes will save value, homeowner value for the neighbors, and rebuild these neighborhoods with affordable housing for families that desperately need them. At this moment in the recession, we are going through a redefinition of housing and its value, the investment in homes and the investment in our future. This federal investment of competitive funds will help these 5 communities and our state move forward.
We're working together to invest in housing. You know, when you have a foreclosed home on any block, that lowers the property value of every home on that block by about $10,000. We're not going to let foreclosure take over. We're going to fight back with every ounce of our fiber and investment to make sure that we get those homes obtained and sold again to people who have a stake in the neighborhood.
First thing I want to do is I want to commend all of the village officials, the mayors, for working so effectively together to put together a very strong competitive application, because that's why I think we've been successful, and that's why our neighborhoods and villages and communities continue to grow and develop. As long as we have the hope and the ingenuity and creativity to work cooperatively together, we're going to be all right.
Now today you've heard first of all from Governor Quinn about the disaster grant resources, but also today we are announcing through the Community Challenge Grant Award, nearly $3 million to 5 communities, Bellwood, Berwyn, Forest Park, Maywood, and Oak Park, otherwise known as the as the West Cook County Housing Collaborative. These funds will be used to update outdated zoning and infrastructure plans that creates an impediment to sustainable transit and affordable housing-oriented developments. The resources also will be used to create an acquisition and pre-development fund to support affordable housing preservation and development near transit stops, and to increase the involvement of residents and the business community in your planning process.
We think this is an important moment for us. We think it's an important moment for the region in thinking about how we move our direction of thinking about where people live, how people work, how we bring them together in a way that makes sense from a regional perspective. We think that we are concerned about, as Antonio said, the Sustainable Communities Initiative and lack of funding. That we need to think about how the federal government remains a new partner with our local governments in getting things done on the ground, making things happen for our residents and making things happen for our family.
The near western suburbs have a long and proud tradition of regional cooperation, and especially in a thoughtful approach on housing issues. And that's clearly a testament to all the local elected officials over the last many decades. I didn't appreciate what an anomaly that was until I saw how the rest of the state gets along. And it really is a proud moment to have this sort of level of cooperation.
We've been huge advocates of affordable housing in the western suburbs for quite a while, and I'm very excited that in the midst of fiscal crises we were able to, in the state of Illinois, contribute to such a cause. I believe our Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity will be playing a major role in this entire investment, so I'm really proud to join them and be able to bring some substantial support to the project.
I like to say small business, local business, the support of the federal government will change America. And this partnership under the leadership and visionaries of the mayors and our president of Oak Park and of the United States will make our country a better country.
We know that housing is a real drag on the economy, and so when we pull things like this together to help, I believe this is how we're going to bring the economy back together. So I want to congratulate the mayors for all your hard work, and I look forward to working with you, and happy holidays.
The West Cook County Housing Collaborative's goal is to facilitate the creation of livable and sustainable communities, but it's done from a regional perspective. And you've heard so many talk about how 5 municipalities has come together today to work in cooperation and instead of in competition. The collaborative represents an effective and efficient way to approach for applying and pooling resources to tackle common problems that really cross municipal borders. That approach has already had enormous success. Those communities came together and applied for neighborhood stabilization program funding together, not in competition. And we received over $3.5 million that have gone to acquiring and rehabilitating, in conjunction with Cook County, a 26-unit foreclosed property in Maywood, which now will be a beautiful, affordable rental community, and also acquiring 3 vacant foreclosed houses in Bellwood, which we are now in the process of selling as affordable home units. The funds announced today will further this collaborative effort in mitigating the effects of foreclosure by creating affordable home ownership near public transportation, reducing the transportation housing costs and expenses for working families and connecting them to jobs. So once again, thank you, Secretary Riley, Governor Quinn, for the funding to begin to continue our efforts to create affordable housing in a cooperative community way.
We can now look forward to a major step in the right direction to help stabilize, and that's a key word, help stabilize our communities and assist our residents in keeping their homes. So on behalf of my residents, we thank all of you.
Now we are standing here today in the rain by choice. But as you know, there's many who's standing in the rain who will not be able to leave here the next few minutes and go home to your warm and dry homes. There are many people that's going to be living out here in this rain, in the cold weather, all winter long. So we are very thankful for the assistance that we are receiving. We appreciate it. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart and on behalf of the citizens of the community of Maywood.
We're starting to see that this collaborative is truly an effort that goes from the municipalities to the state level all the way to the federal level. And we're very fortunate to have such hardworking and caring leaders in state government, federal government, and also to have these cutting-edge agencies from HUD to DCEO, CMAP, and IFF. They're all working very hard to make this possible and to really develop these ideas as a solution to challenging problems in our community.
It's been a pleasure over the last 3 years, not only with my fellow mayors, but the ones that truly deserve the accolades today are all of the staff people that have been working with the various organizations. Many of them are here today. They're all in the background. I'm going to ask my fellow mayors if we could come together and give them an applause, because they truly are the ones that help us as leaders of our respective community understand all of the nuts and bolts involved in putting together policies and filling out the grant applications. And without them, we would not be standing here today.
Spend it wisely as you will.